Welcome to Car Comparos. Today we'll be comparing the Hyundai Elantra versus the Mahindra XUV500. So why are we even comparing these two cars? We have received a lot of queries post the launch of the all-new Elantra on how it compares to the Mahindra XUV500 of all cars. Although customers doing cross-segment comparison is not a new thing, the comparison of the Elantra and the XUV seemed like a bit of a stretch. The reason why prospective customers are comparing these two cars is because of their similar price points. Pricing and features. The top-end manual variant of the XUV500, the W10 4x2, retails for 18.3 lakh rupees on-road tele. The range-topping Elantra petrol manual, the SXO, retails for 19.3 lakh rupees, which is just 1 lakh rupees or 5% more expensive than the XUV. While the Elantra SXO diesel manual costs 21 lakh rupees, which is 2.7 lakh or 15% more expensive than the XUV. Both cars have a few extra features that are absent in the other car. The Elantra SXO has Xenon HID headlamps, automatic tailgate opening, dual zone climate control, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, ventilated front seats and automatic front windscreen defogger. While the XUV500 W10 has extra cornering lamps, tire pressure monitoring system, hill descent control and automatic rain sensing wipers. Reliability and after-sales service. Hyundai has built up a remarkable reputation for after-sales service in the Indian market over the past 2 decades. Mahindra, on the other hand, has been competing only in the utility vehicle market, where it had little competition from Tata and had come out on top among its competitors in the segment. But it still has a long way to go to even get close to the levels of product reliability and service support provided by Hyundai. On top of that, Mahindra has had a history of quality and reliability issues in all its products, which does not bode well for the XUV customers. Mahindra's service reach with its 400 odd touchpoints is still not as widespread as Hyundai's 800 dealerships. However, it holds a special advantage in terms of reach to smaller villages thanks to the rural penetration of its tractor network. Resale and cost of ownership. Today, 5-year-old XUVs carry a resale price of around 8 lakh rupees. Thanks to Elantra's advantage in fuel efficiency and product quality, it is bound to retain 2 to 3% better residual value compared to the XUV over the next 5 to 7 years. Overall, the Elantra SXO diesel manual works out to be 15,000 rupees cheaper, yes, cheaper than the XUV W10 manual in terms of overall ownership costs. That is because the Elantra makes up for its higher price tag with a 1 lakh rupees difference in fuel cost and an even bigger difference in resale value, resulting in lower cost of ownership than the XUV W10 manual. Same goes for the automatics as well. Performance and drivability. The XUV has a 600cc bigger engine than the Elantra diesel, but due to its ginormous 1875 kg curb weight, it ends up being almost 30% down on power when compared to the Elantra in terms of power to weight ratio. This makes the XUV noticeably slower than the Elantra in terms of outright acceleration as well as mid-range punch. However, XUV's turbo spools up at a lower RPM than the Elantra, giving it better drivability around town. But then, the Elantra fights back with its phenomenal refinement, making even a reasonably refined car like the XUV seem like a tractor in comparison. The Elantra petrol takes the performance and refinement a notch higher compared to the diesel one and is in a different league altogether compared to the XUV. It may not have the mid-range grunt of the diesels, but it more than makes up for it with a strong top end and its free revving nature. Space and comfort. Everybody and their uncle likes to point out that the XUV has 2 extra seats in the third row, the Elantra obviously doesn't. But what they don't tell you is that those seats are depressingly claustrophobic, unsupportive, and too small even for the smallest members of your family. However, that's not all. If you are thinking of touring with 7 people on board, there is going to be absolutely no space left for your luggage. XUV's 93 liters of boot space with all the seats up is smaller than Tata Nano's piddly little boot capacity of 110 liters, which means when you take it along for a road trip, you are going to be able to accommodate no more than 5 occupants. In that case, all of you would be much better off in the Elantra. For the front two rows, Elantra's seating is far more roomy and comfortable than the XUVs. There is better knee room, leg room and shoulder room than the XUV, and the ergonomics are also far better in the Elantra. Handling and ride quality. The XUV is a rather obese and towering behemoth which takes an obvious toll on its dynamics. It has immense body roll, making it a slouch around the corners. To keep it from going overboard, Mahindra has stiffened up its springs, giving it a stiff and thrashy ride. Big bumps and potholes tend to rattle the occupant's spine. The Elantra, though still not as good as other cars in its segment, feels like a total revelation in comparison. It has excellent ride quality which gets better and better as the speeds rise. Stability at highway speeds as well as under panic braking is considerably better than the XUV. It corners much flatter and holds its line far better than the XUV does. Elantra's steering setup also feels much more precise and well weighted than the XUVs. However, even with the Raced for India suspension, the Elantra cannot steamroll over broken tarmac the way XUV does, giving the XUV500 a peculiar advantage over the Elantra. Fuel efficiency. The XUV manual has an ARAI certified mileage of 16 kmpl, which is a whopping 6.5 kmpl less than the Elantra diesel manual. The XUV automatic has an ARAI certified mileage of 13.8 kmpl, which again is a good 4.4 kmpl less than the Elantra diesel automatic's fuel efficiency of 18.2 kmpl. In our real world tests, both the manual as well as the automatic XUVs were almost 3 kmpl less efficient than the corresponding Elantras. Both the petrol-powered Elantras, the manual as well as the automatic, have an ARAI certified mileage of 14.6 kmpl, which is 1.4 kmpl less than the manual XUV and 0.8 kmpl more than the automatic one. However, in our back-to-back tests, the Elantra petrol manual was just as efficient as the manual XUV, whereas the automatic Elantra petrol was almost 1 kmpl more efficient than the XUV automatic. That brings us to the verdict. There is only one single thing where the XUV500 manages to defend itself against the Elantra, and that is its suitability to Indian road conditions. If you encounter rough road or no road situations frequently, this comparison is of no use to you. However, if you are concerned about the assorted potholes and speed humps on your daily office commute, the Elantra has got it covered. Apart from that, it is a better car than the XUV in every aspect imaginable, be it performance, dynamics, refinement, build quality, efficiency, or even equipment. In a word, what the Elantra delivers is sophistication. It is also what the XUV sorely lacks, and by extension, its owners are assumed to lack as well. If you are yet to develop a taste for finer things in life, you will have already handed over a bag full of cash at your local Mahindra dealership. If you even know about things like truffles and caviar, then you better make your way to the nearest Hyundai showroom and put your money down on the winner of this test.